I'll do you guys a favor. Watch this. So, Ray, it's really cool stuff, but here's Ray. There's Ray right there. It's tight. It's tight stuff. Ray is kind of like this leg stuff, okay? So then you have these two parts right here. This is together. Now I've shown you a Shadow of Colossus video about together, right? But together is also the idea of this coming together is like a sad eye. Okay, so like an eye that's sad. Literally look at this. Not only with sad eye, you have duality around because you got like flea, but also, like X's shoe, all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay. But so we're going to talk about why we're talking about this, okay? Together, right? Pokemon together, okay? Yu-Gi-Oh! Together, polymerization, fusion, together, right? Okay. I'm liking the spot of this. That's exactly why we keep looking at Ray. We keep looking at Ray. Oh, gosh. And I'll just say it for the heck of it. This is for the heck of it because I like saying this because sometimes, like, when you say stuff like this, it sounds so dang creepy. But in Mario 64, there's a cloud. There's these two clouds. And both of them together. See what I'm saying? Like both of them together. And they're big spread. They're a spread of big. But the thing is, so you gotta be like, your mindset has to be like working again and again and again. So Ray's whole idea, the whole idea behind Ray is to be like, showing how, like feet can become like a bra. See, we got our bra and our underwear, right? But that's like the whole purpose behind Ray. Ray's to show you the crazy things it can do, okay? But now here's a pretty nuts part. If we choose, we have to choose this though. Somehow we have to choose this. If we choose to accept big melons, which is not too hard because we have what? Ico. Now, Ico is a thing that you have to pay attention to too. But big melons, so it's like big melons, right? Let's see if we can find something from this. So we'll flip this up, right? Flip this over. This spot. Uni and X just have a way that they just have a way of like bringing everything together that you would want to come together, They have easy ways of bringing you to a spider. They have easy ways of bringing you to Shin Megami Tensei. And now you're like, the confusion's the hardest part, okay? But it does make sense. See, by flipping this over and we've added Uni and X into our principle. So guess what? Now that we have Uni and X in our principle, we get up to this. And it looks very nasty. Of course it looks nasty. Now, why does it look so nasty like this? Well, you got to remember, when you're looking at X's butt, okay, X's butt has detail. It has a certain amount of detail that is used towards it, okay? So they use a bunch of detail to X's butt. That's the reason why the plant's behind, okay? So the plant has to be there. Now, talking about the plant made a lot of sense to me. It's kind of like a 90s thing. See, this is where the plant's up above. See, so we have the plant up above. See, our plant is all the way up here above. But like the plant comes off like as like a 90s thing. Okay. And soul sucking. See, we're on the way to soul sucking, right? So if we accept like concept after concept, then we get all the way to soul sucking. And soul sucking correlates, okay? So soul sucking correlates with Ray, because Ray is a pair of legs. And there's some crazy things with Ray. All right. So when you don't add another equation, and you take out an equation and you just focus, like if you were just to focus on Mario 64, none of this would make any sense. Zero. But if you look at other things, and then you look at other things, and then you say again, and then you say again, and then you say again, and then eventually. Now, Uni, think about this. X's shoes. See what I'm saying? Think about this. X's shoes, right? She has a crazy shoe pattern, okay? So her shoe pattern. But this is what's the crazy part too, is that video game secrets, yes, they will do stuff like this. Yes, I know it's creepy, but they will definitely do stuff like this. They will get into the idea of your head that X's foot, okay, is smashing either Uni's head, or the worst one, Uni is sucking X's toe. You know what I'm saying? Like Uni is literally sucking the toe of X. So they do put those ideas into your head. Okay. Now, if you're a little skeptical, here's some Xenosaga for you. Okay, so there's some Xenosaga for you. But what I've noticed with newer games, I've been trying to research into newer games. Sometimes when you research into older games, it's kind of a little bit of a problem. But if you get into like newer games, not so new games, but you know what I'm saying, games that are not like, because sometimes you can go to the old game, but you can also sometimes just go to the new game, and the new game will tell you something. So we talk about Xenosaga, because Xenosaga gets us to a vertical, okay? So Xenosaga gets us to a vertical. Xenoblade gets us to a vertical, right? And now that we've had a vertical, we have 1, 2, 3. And what is that? We got Uni, okay? So Uni's just like, corner, right? But this is the crazy thing that makes it so insane, is if we start to add stuff like this, then we get our brain thinking. And when we get our brain thinking, we actually think of something constructive, believe it or not. See, after we've went through this whole entire creepy puzzle, right? And we went to this. Now we go over here. And I hate this thing so much, because every time I look at this stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, dang it. Bright. You know what I'm saying? Like bright. But bright should make sense to people. Think about it. I mean, if you were Nintendo and you had to start a new project, okay? So you made the Wii U, but you had to start a new project. It would make sense to me. I mean, anytime you were playing Zombie World, it was all about what? Blights. Not bright, blights. Okay, and blights was a pretty good. That was a good concept, because you were using L, and then by using L, you're getting legs, you're getting corner, you're getting everything that you could think of. Right? But so that's the thing, and the article that they made about like a sequel being to Zombie, that was crazy. That's some crazy times. But yeah, literally, you could go on the Wii U had its own Facebook, and they read everything that everybody said. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody that would post comments or post stuff on there, they read into that. Okay. But think about also, if you want to know about this one, I'm going to tell you something about something. Resident Evil 4, the newest Resident Evil 4. Now, it has my drawings in it, okay? My drawings are inside the newest Resident Evil 4. But I wanted to tell you about that on the Miiverse. Okay, so on the Miiverse, they on a Wii U Miiverse service, they had nothing but Resident Evil fans after Resident Evil fans arguing with each other. Resident Evil fans arguing again, and again. Now, what shuts down in 2024? Your Wii U and your Nintendo 3DS will be shutting down, right? Okay. The 3DS does have something crazy too, by the way. Did you know what the 3DS has? It has Resident Evil 5, in my opinion, Mercenaries. Resident Evil 5 done the right way. Resident Evil 5 kind of needed like a little bit of a like a revision. But see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. On the Wii U Miiverse, they have people trying to support Resident Evil 5 the original way it was made, right? So there's been a lot of changes, Resident Evil 4. Now, if you feel like when you're like playing Resident Evil 4 and you're probably like, what the heck's with Ada, right? I like the knife fight, by the way, the new way they did the knife fight for Resident Evil 4. I do like that. I think they did that as good as they could do that. But look at all that I've talked about. Do you get what I'm saying? All that I've talked about. Let me tell you something. They're not going to show you a secret, okay? They just don't really want to show you a secret every time because, they got products coming out, right? So they got products out and they don't really want to show you a secret. Or Beetle's crazy, isn't it? But the secret, okay. I'll tell you another reason why the secret's pretty confusing, and I understand why they're having trouble showing the secret. They're having trouble showing the secret, okay? And I respect the secret. See what I'm saying? I respect it. I respect that it's all about audio. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's about audio. It's about people that put an idea to this with a bunch of audio. And not just Mario 64. Another secret is using audio. Okay? So both of those things are using secrets of audio, okay? Now, think about that. Okay, so what would be the actual problem? What would be the problem? Why do they not want you to see that? Well, think this way. Think in a simple way. If you listen to a music artist, okay, and you listen to an artist, listen to another artist, and you listen to another artist, eventually, like people break down and quick. They're listening to a song, they'll listen to another song, they'll listen to another song, okay? So if you have access to a secret of a video game's audio, right, you get one of the craziest things. You get to listen to a musician. See what I'm saying? You get to listen to a musician. And then you're listening to that musician, and now you're like, whoa. You know what I mean? You have two different forms of something. You have a musician, okay, and you have a video game. So that's the whole. That's basically like the simple little explanation to that. Okay. Also, uni, right? So what's crazy is if we add uni and X together, right? If we add them together, okay. So we have uni. Uni's always gonna be. Uni's always going to be our leg, right? So uni's always going to be our leg, right? Uni and X are not made to be made sense to a human's eye, okay? So the fact is, it's the crazy stuff that can come about it. So, like, what can shoot out of a female's vagina? A leg, an arm, right? Two of those things can be out of a female, okay? So rather than right? Rather than it's the whole idea behind it. So why do we know that this is uni and this is x? Okay, so that's a simple one right there. Why do we know this is uni and x? Okay, because look, we got 2 here. Now, the whole yin yang is a whole entire thing. That the breaking down yin yang is a crazy, crazy idea. But when we mention something like Yu-Gi-Oh, what does Yu-Gi-Oh do? Yu-Gi-Oh does a spiral, and they what? Polymerization, and they fuse, right? But that's the thing. That's the thing. So how do you make a good cutscene? Okay, how do you make an actual good cutscene, right? You make a good cutscene by having one, you have uni, okay? You have X, all right? You have a yin-yang principle. So there's a principle of them being yin and yang, right? But you have the crazy part. And the crazy part, that's what brings this video to even 16 minutes, is you have the crazy part of just remembering to yourself that Uni's a very good character design, As much as you're focused on X, Uni's also there. And Uni just keeps on saying stuff out of her mouth that she shouldn't say out of her mouth. You know what I mean? So she keeps talking, and every time she's talking, she's saying stuff that's pretty creepy. And she's just like, So we have 2. So why would 2 be crazy? We should know. It's pretty easy why 2 is crazy. And it sounds so stupid, but it does make sense. Well, you play a game called Enemy Zero, right? And then when you play a game called Enemy Zero, they have a gate. And then rather than you just being like, oh, it has to be 12 gate, right? No. 1, 2. See? 1, 2. Then you got a corner. How do you make uni? How do you make uni? It's a leg, right? So corner, corner. Now, the whole entire game, if you don't know anything about Enemy Zero, the craziest thing about Enemy Zero is it's literally a game about corners, about going around in corners, right? But the game is insane. The game itself is insane because you are traveling inside a worm. See? So Enemy Zero, you're going around the whole map and the area design as like a worm. So their whole thing is it's like a massive project. So when Uni and X is presented to you, it's not to be presented to you in a way of like, oh my gosh, it's Uni and it's Uni and X again, right? It's to be presented to you also as a universe, an entire universe, just an entire universe. And the only way that somebody can tell you a story and get you to a story and get it into your head is they have to do it piece by piece, piece by piece, piece by piece. So the reason I researched so much into this, is I don't want to spoil something, right? I don't want to spoil something, but there is something that is traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? There's something traumatizing. And the best thing sometimes is having a tiny little bit of advice, you know what I'm saying? Like a tiny little bit of advice, another tiny bit of advice, another tiny bit of advice, right? Because what was I talking to you during this video? Big boobs, right? So I was talking to you about big boobs right there, right? Now, you take all those little ideas, you know what I'm saying? And you take every little idea behind that and you think about that idea, because then you get to see Kiara. See, I'm seeing Kiara right now. Rather than I could look at this other stuff, but now I'm seeing Kiara. So to get smart, to get wise, right? To get smart, to get wise, it has to be done by tiny piece after tiny piece after tiny piece. And maybe, just maybe, eventually it makes sense to you. Now, I try to even punch my head. I'm going to show you an example of punching my head. I try to punch my head when I see something like this. Do you see that right here? Definitely Mario 64 stuff. Definitely Sonic Colors, okay? But this is why I like to punch myself in the head. I like to punch myself in the head because I'm always thinking about a fallen angel, right? I'm always thinking about a fallen star, okay? So I'm thinking about a fallen angel. I'm thinking about a fallen star. What would a fallen star look like to you? Get what I'm saying? A fallen star would look pretty creepy to you. See, that's the part. A fallen star would have to look very traumatizing to you because it's not, it's like a thing that's not supposed to happen, right? It's just like one of those things. It's like, oh, why the heck did this happen? But I like to add every of these principles, okay? And I like to think about these principles. And the reason I like to think about these principles is, guess what? Ishtar is a common character in the Shin Megami Tensei universe that is a desired character, right? But when you take the time and you don't break down what's around Ishtar, you know what I'm saying? When you don't break around what's around Ishtar or the ideas behind Ishtar, okay? And then you're just like, well, I am going to judge this game. See what I'm saying? People are going to judge a video game, but that proved to be wrong. Isn't that the crazy part? That was the craziest part, I believe, for a lot of people, is that proved to be very wrong. And that's like the hardest thing. Sometimes you have to like learn little mistakes from that, okay? Just like little mistakes from that. But it made sense to me that Shin Megami Tensei, the newest Shin Megami Tensei, was going to be good. And the reason it was going to be good, I'll tell you why, because when you read reviews, and I know people are curious about this Shin Megami Tensei, this one. Let me say something to you about this one. This one made me kind of like laugh. Okay, so some people be like, "Oh, the final battle with Lucifer, the final battle of Lucifer. It wasn't as what I wanted it to be like, that thing." But here's the funniest thing about Shin Megami Tensei. Okay, so if you were to look at Shin Megami Tensei, you're actually looking at gameplay just to see. This is what I'm trying to say to you. You're looking at previous Shin Megami Tensei games for gameplay wise, right? And you're looking at the gameplay wise of all those Shin Megami Tenseis, right? But here's the crazy thing. Yes, Shin Megami Tensei, this is the right way to talk about Shin Megami Tensei, by the way, is what you think it is. It's a creepy project. It is exactly what you think. It is a creepy project, my friend. It is very creepy. And I've came over time to realize how creepy Shin Megami Tensei is. That's exactly why the whole Jin thing is happening, okay? The whole Jin thing is happening due to accepting Shin Megami Tensei for what it is. There's a gap of people when they like look at Shin Megami Tensei and they look at it, they just can't see past Shin Megami Tensei. You know what I'm saying? You can see Pokemon, you can see Avengers, you can see there's different things that you can see, but when you like look at Shin Megami Tensei, it's very hard for the person to see through that. I've seen it with many common people, not just me. I've seen it with common people. They just don't understand the Shin Megami Tensei universe. And that's a very hard universe to understand. But like it should be easy to people. The reason it should be easy to people is that Devil Survivor was going to be a massive project. It was going to be a huge project. It was going to be, and you still have little bits. When you play Devil Survivor, you still have little bits of it, So they took every single little design thing that you could think about, right? You know what I'm saying? They took a design, they took another design, they took another design. I even like that right now that I'm playing Splatoon, when I'm like looking at this, we all know in Mario 64 about our dinosaur, right? You get what I'm saying? We all know about it. All know about that dinosaur, right? I'm telling you guys, Mario 64 is not pleasant. It is not even close to a pleasant game. They give you in your face. They give you in your face. But like they do things like where you're hitting a creature. You know what I'm saying? You're taking a creature and you're hitting a creature, right? So that's what's in Mario 64, right? But look at the angle and the shape they have of this. So many ideas you could think about with this, okay? But I know the hardest one is to imagine what this is. And it's exactly what you see what I'm saying? I don't have to say it. You know what I mean? I don't have to say it. You can just like look at this and you can get some pretty good ideas of what this is. Okay? By the way, I'll make it a little easy for you because it's kind of confusing. How many females do you know? See? How many females do you know? I'm not, I'll tell you what, I'm not happy with just Fallen Star. You know what I mean? I am not happy. I am not content with Fallen Star. So when I mentioned at the beginning to you, I mentioned to you big melons. I mentioned big melons because there's some females that talk about me that have big melons.